Hey guys, it's me Crystal from Marching North, and today I'm going to show you how to make a crown knot plant hanger. To start this plant hanger, I've cut my 4 cords and I've got them looped through my wooden ring, and it's right in the center, so there's an equal amount on both sides. I recently did a tutorial showing how to do the crown knot, and I will link to that tutorial down below if you want a little bit more of an in-depth look at it, but I'll show you how to do it right here as well. So what you're going to do is you have your cords looped over your ring, and you're going to separate out so they have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And the way we're going to do this is you start with the 2 in the front, the 2 sections. First, you take the one on the left and you're going to go behind the one on the right like this and make like a 4 shape. Then you take this one here and you're going to loop it up like this. And you want to make sure this loop stays a loop, because you're going to have to go through that at the end with the last cords. So this is how it looks now. What you're going to do is take the next 2, so the 2 in the back that are on the right, and then you're going to bring them over this cord that you're holding here, and then you're going to pull that up like this. So now we look like this. And then for the last part, you get the last 2 cords, hold them over in front like this, pull them up, and then there you go. So to finish it, you take the last cords that you're hanging here, you're going to go all the way around behind, and then you're going to pull them through this first loop that we were holding on to that we started with. And then you're going to just tighten up your knot, just pull evenly on all the sides, and then you just tighten it all up. And that's your first crown knot. So we're starting again. Make our 4, pull it up, and last time, and then pull it all the way around behind and pull it through the loop. And there you go. Now you're going to make 11 more crown knots, so we end up with 13 altogether for the top part. Here's how it'll look once you get your 13 crown knots completed. To make the little part that cradles the flower pot, we're just going to do some simple overhand knots to make like a little mesh area to keep it secure. So here's where the crown knot ends, and then this is my pot that I'm going to be putting in here. It's like about a 5-inch pot. How far down you put this is going to depend on what kind of plant you intend to put in here. I'm going to be putting a viney, one of those pothos plants that just, drapes all over the place. So I don't really need a lot of head space for my plant, but just keep that in mind. So I just eyeballed about where I want the pot to fall in the hanger, and I'm going to mark a spot with my finger and then just measure it and see where I need to tie my first row of knots. So that is about 11.5 inches down, almost on the dot. So what I'm going to do now is tie an overhand knot right here at the 11.5 inch mark. Then tie an overhand knot in the remaining 3 sections at the same height. Okay, so I tied the next row of overhand knots about 3.5 inches down from the first row. And now we're going to tie one more row of alternating overhand knots that are going to go just underneath where this pot sits. And then we'll finish off the bottom. Here's how it looks after I finish the 3 rows of overhand knots. Okay, now to finish off our plant hanger, we're just going to tie 7 crown knots right here at the bottom. So we're going to make our first crown knot right about 1 inch or 1.5 inches down. You're just going to tighten it until you have about 1 inch of space between the row of overhand knots that we tied before. That's our first crown knot, and now we're going to tie 6 more. Here's how it'll look once you get your 7 crown knots completed at the bottom. And if you're happy with this, go ahead and cut the fringe, and then you can untwist it if you want. After I had it sitting in my living room for a couple days, I realized I actually wanted to put a wrapping knot right at the base of the bottom crown knots. So that is what I did. So I just grabbed another piece of cord and tied a wrapping knot, which is when you make the U shape like this, and then you just wrap it around. And I wrapped it around 4 times, and I was just careful to pull all the fringe down so there wasn't any weird bubbled up areas above the wrapping knot. But you can just do 4 wraps and then finish it off like you do a normal wrapping knot. And if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. It's totally optional. I just liked how it looked better. I want to show you how this is going to look with a plant in it. The plant that I'm going to put in here is just a little baby plant at this point. It doesn't even have dirt yet, but that's who's going to be in there eventually. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more crafty tutorials and DIYs. Thanks for watching!